Hey everyone, thank you for joining my stream today or tonight. Um, as in the previous few streams that I've done, this would be me working on various audio C++ projects. I'll probably continue what I did on the last stream, which is working on this kind of, I don't know how to call this, like a music language of sorts, like almost like a visual musical composition programming language. I don't know, something like that is happening over there. And yeah, if anyone's watching this, feel free to write me something in the comments. You can ask me questions, and I will try to respond. And yeah. So I'm just going to dive into this and get to work. Okay, let's do this. Put in some music that I cannot play over the stream. So let's make sure that I don't. Yeah, I think it's okay. All right. So what I'm doing right now is that I have this. Let's remove some things from my build system. Let's remove a few other Modellix plugins from here. I don't need this as well. I just have a few testing projects that I want to be running as a part of my little build. Let's share my screen so that people can see what I'm doing. Here we go. Learned a bunch of born configurations. Let's see why. Looks good. So I just need something that will let me build. Oh, there it is. Here you go. Okay. So I just made this like testing project that will let me build the language as a console app and as a UI app, which in both I'll be just testing different aspects of the language. And where we get to last time, yesterday or this morning, depends on where you are in the world, is that I got to a point where I was able to build some better phrases and better connections in my little UI app. Okay. And let's start by going into I have something like prototypes, apps, Googling UI. Oh, here we go. I got the UI project. There it is. And I have this thing where that can add a few different blocks. So for example, one of the things that I've added in the last stream was something like form. And the idea about form is that I could connect different elements. So I can connect the original music, but I can also connect the transposed music and have them be sequenced one after the other and have some combination of this. So that was something kind of initial that I've done to help create forms of music. And this would probably be the next thing that I would start to like elaborate on. Like I'm going to start to add a few words to this vocabulary. The first word I'm going to add, and this is something I was talking to Or, who was with me on the previous stream. Or is my partner in Modellix, Or Lubianiker. Yeah, so what I was doing is I was let's see where that was. So I want to go to my module code where I have the core language objects. And I just want to start just with writing just normal expressions because I was really winging it in the first ones I've done. So I probably should start opening files to those and making them make sense. But the first thing I did was that I have this function called append. And I realized that append is so fundamental that it's actually used in like I was able to build other more complicated expressions on top of append, but I didn't expose append as something in the UI. So I probably should do that. So let's have append here. Let's copy the namespace stuff. So I need the namespace, and I need these two includes, I guess. Yeah, something like that. And then I can, I will start just by taking this function away to this other file. Then I think this file for now would need to include that because some other functions are also using this append function. I want to, by the way, say hi to people who are joining in, and people are joining in now in different networks. I see people on Twitch, people on Facebook, people on YouTube, people on Twitter, X, etc. So feel free to write something in the comment, and I will try to bring your comment up on the screen and respond if somebody has questions about what it is that I'm doing. I know a lot of it is you could say maybe abstract, but hopefully over time will make more and more sense, and we'll start to produce some very nice musical results. So what I'm doing now is I'm building what's called an expression. And an expression in this case is just something that wraps a function, because this is kind of like a functional language. So it's something that wraps an expression, but it has some stateful things like the inputs, which help the user do stuff like UI connections. So in this case, I would call this append. The inputs would just be A and B, or maybe I can call them some other name. Maybe I can use some name like first and second. That would be nice. So first, second. No connecting to be first, second. So the idea is that when you give it when you give this thing two inputs, it would first sequence the first one, then the second one, which is important because you might want to change the order. You might actually pretty soon will want to pass all kinds of other like I might want to create a loop object that takes the first and the second and then puts it into another append and then puts it into another append in some kind of wild loop, stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to append. So the actual function just needs to call append with yeah, because I need to take first and then second, right? I think that's it. So I need to so I need to take actually result first. No, sorry, it's first result, because this is the input and the output. So yeah, first result, then second result. That's basically it. I'm going to call this append. And the only thing I need to do for this is to add the add this to the UI menu. So I need to go to my UI app. Which is starting to get super ugly because it was all written just as a prototype, and now I'm just adding features to it and it's starting to be a mess. But let's say that I'm calling this what's the name of that thing? Here it is. I'm going to call this append. And let's, just because this is kind of getting tedious to write all these, let's do something like use a namespace, DSP, music. And then I can just remove all of these locally, which would hopefully be a bit more readable. I can also do something like using DSP expression literal. Can I do that? Yeah. So just remove these. The code will become a bit more readable, and I can see, you can see that I'm just adding a bunch of different types. So for people who are just tuning in, I'm working on this musical composition language in C++. It's a new kind of modalics abstract idea that I'm kind of iterating over. Feel free to write me in the comments if what I'm doing makes sense, if you have any questions, etc. Okay, so what I'm doing now, I just added this append thing into my menu. There's one other thing that I wanted to do, which is just something that I forgot to do before, is that I added this disconnect option, and I think I needed to also add this call to this thing. Yeah, I think it should be better. Let's have a look. Okay, now I should have the append here, and I should be able to pick, well, now you can see this. So I have the append here, it's in the menu, and I can add connected to the music and the music again to run twice, or to the transposed version of the music. Great, and now I can add another append and have the input be the previous append twice to make this even longer. Yeah, so this is good. Okay, so I'm going to start with this. This is going to be the first step of the day. So added append block. So that's the first thing. Let's start by thinking about a few other things that I wanted to do here. Make the music that I'm listening to slightly lower. Okay. Let's see. Okay, there's a couple of things I realized when I created this, is that one thing that became pretty obvious to me when I created this was that I needed to have, I guess, a unique identifier, like a letter or something, that would be a way for the user also to understand what it is that gets connected. So I think what I'll do, the question is how do I do this? Because, like, for example, when I create this, what I want is that I want it so that this thing will be created and maybe it will be called yeah, like this thing will be created, and maybe this will be called A, this will be called B, and then the next. So if I add another transpose, it's going to be called C, or some other unique name that does not exist in the project yet. So I think I want to start with this because it kind of confuses me that there's no names that make sense here. So I'll need to generate that name. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I think once I will create the name, and I guess I need to think about this because I need to generate a name that doesn't exist in the scope, right? So I need to say that if I generated, if there's a vector in this case, or some sort of map vector hybrid that I'm using to create these objects, then I need to create a unique name, a unique letter, let's call it, that doesn't exist yet. So I guess what I can do, let's see. So when I'm creating this should be somewhere in this. I have this code for this thing called an expression map. It's something like expression map. Yeah, here's the expression map, and there's some code here to. Ooh, I probably should start. Let's start by cleaning this up a little bit. Ton of code here that should start to get cleaned up one by one. So I'm going to start by. Yeah, let's create a CVP file for this. Let's call this expression map, and I will add it to the build system by putting it here. How's everybody doing? Everyone doing okay? I know it's pretty. This year is getting pretty late. Here it's going to be 11 p.m. almost. I'm sure in a lot of places watching this is the middle of the night, or very very early in the morning. Okay, so I'm going to start by moving these. Did I create the namespace? No, I need the namespace for this to work. So let's do this. Let's move these into the CVP file. What about this? This is a template, so I can't move it to the CVP file, but I can move these functions or methods. And all these. Good. So this was like there's some initial cleaning, so I'll have some clear idea on the interface, and kind of see have less of a clutter with these implementations. I probably can move this as well, but I probably need to move this same file, right? Yeah, so I can move this here. So it's in the bottom, and same with this. Yeah, I don't do that enough, but it definitely is useful to have a clear view in the header of just the interface, right? So now I have all these, I guess, a clear looking interface that I can kind of reason about better than these implementations where they were built in. Let's see if this compiles. Okay. Let's let's call this lang moved expression map implementations into a CVP file. Okay, now why did I do this? I did this because I wanted something where I'm creating this. Eventually, the creation of this object happens here. I wanted to maybe assign some unique name in this, let's call it scope, and yeah, so I thought I would assign a unique name that isn't the this particular. That's I guess beyond the unique ID, which I'm generating a unique ID anyway, but the name. Yeah, so I need to create something that keeps generating, I guess, a new letter or something. Let's see, how are we going to do this? So I need some algorithm that basically will give me a string, but will check, I guess, for available strings, because, for example, let's say I give it A. It's very possible A would already be there. So then I would need to give it a B. Then C, like there needs to be some mechanism to advance this forward. This is actually the kind of thing that usually an AI is good in writing. So let's see if Gemini, my current favorite AI, can just do this. Let's see. So I'm going to go with Gemini, and let's tell it something like, in C++, I want to write code that will generate unique string IDs to objects that are created in a vector. Code needs to have some scheme. For example, first try A, then B, then C, until the alphabet is done, and then add the next letter, like, and then if all those names do not exist, or already exist, start with AA, then AB, etc. Yeah, let's see if it's going to understand what I want. Okay, let's get to something else. Okay, can you create a version that does not do the actual comparison, but instead takes a functor that returns if a specific name already exists in the vector. Okay. Can you write this as a stateless function? Also, can you please attach the full implementation of the next ID function? This is what I wanted. So this is just a singular function, and let's see if what it makes sense, right? I have no idea if that's correct. So std string generate unique ID. Yeah, so it takes a std function about the probably to pass this as a const reference. Okay, it creates a new ID. Now let's see what this thing does. Current ID. No. So can we avoid the need for a current ID? The concept is for this to always start from the top, A, and check if that exists. If and check for the first element on the list that exists. Okay, this looks better. If the last character is Z, reset to A and increase length. Okay, so let's see if this works. Function always returns 1. What does all return 1? Is it correct? Am I just blindly? Why is it always returning 1? Let's see. How's everyone doing, by the way? I'm just to read again. I'm working on this. Let's call it a language for music composition, and I'm just trying to collaborate with Gemini AI, Google's Gemini LLM, and to create something that would help me with the unique IDs problem. I think it's quite a scope problem, so the LLM should be in theory good in that and give me a good result. Yeah, so currently I have this thing called a name, and I think what I need to do is object.create and then object name equals, I think that's name. Yeah, it should be name. So name, let's assign to name. Let's assign it the get. So I should do something like exists equals const token. Token is just another name for a string, and then what this should do is go over element in the map, and element second expression name equals to token. And then I want to get unique. How is that thing called? Generate unique ID, which would take exists. So that was the idea. I'm not sure this function is correct. There's probably some weird thing here because I'm not sure why it says it always returns 1. Yeah, you're not reading this correctly, but it does look like it's adding things to this std string. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of stuff with the length here that are not even used. It's kind of weird. Why did you do that? Yeah, that's not needed. Right? As long as it exists. Yeah, but this should return false, I believe, if this is oop, what is this? What are these? Non-void don't return. Oh, right. Return false. Return false. Oh, this is a mistake. It should be something like if then return true, because I want to run through the entire loop. Okay, so this is my UI app. And let's see. So this is not perfect. Let's see what kind of name did this create. This hits. Yeah, doesn't look correct. Object, expression, name A. Okay, so an A, but it might just not be showing that. Is that the problem? Let's see what exactly this do. So I get a new one. It says A. Oh, yeah, while it exists. Okay, so let's see my function that takes returns a bool. It's fine. So as long as it exists, keep going through this. So why did it return false? Let's see. Add a new one. Here's my function. And first one had a name off. Right, element, object, expression, name, nothing. Okay, so nothing. Next one, nothing. The nothings make the few nothings make sense. If I probably should remove them because there was stuff that I created like a hard coded way. Yeah, so this thing has A, right? Oh, that's weird. That's weird. Let's see why. So and while I'm at it, let's remove my no, I don't want to remove those. Let's try this for a second. Let's see. So I'm going to create another one. Token is A. Should not find it. That's correct. Let's do something else. Yeah, it's not looking for the right thing. Object expression name. Interesting. Object equals map at UUID. So what's wrong here? Why is that not it? Why is it not leading me to the name that I think that I'm storing in the expression? Because it does look like I'm getting the right name, but something in my comparison function is not working like I should, right? Yeah, I think that's what happens here. Let's see. Generate unique ID. While ID exists. Let's see what the problem is here. If name element second expression name. Right, this thing, it goes through these names, but it looks like all these names are empty, which I don't get why. Object expression. Let's look at this entire map. I have this map here. Let's observe these details here on the bottom. Let's look at mostly these last ones. Second, object expression. Huh. Oh, this was just created, I guess. This is like incomplete. That makes sense. Looks like it doesn't store the name. Let's see why not. Oh, here it is, because I do it at the wrong place. I did not wait for the actual object to be created. I think that's what I should be able to do here. That this should be something like new. Right, this whole thing should probably be here. Let's also add this as another function. Let's do something like bool contains const token, and this will just do this little test, this whole thing. Return contains token. So that will make it clear, because I've refactored this into another method, and now let's see if this is going to work. Name. I think that makes sense. Let's see if this is correct. Ooh. Oh, it's a dot because it's a reference, it's not a pointer. Does that make sense? Okay, now it generated some names, A, B, and C. This is not exactly what I wanted, by the way, but next one is going to be D, right? And if I remove this and B should be open, I should get a B here. Great, this is what I wanted, right? I wanted to have some unique names. I don't like that it just shows the letters. That's kind of weird. So let's have something better. Let's do, let's have some function that shows both the type. In this case, some of these types have like all these like musical functions, like transpose, for example. And then we can probably do something like, I can probably just go to the UI, I guess, go to the UI area. Let's see what the UI is displaying here. So the UI, oh, this code is such a mess. Especially the UI side. The UI is way less organized. Block display. Somewhere it shows the name. I guess next level up will be just to reorganize this, because this is starting to be a mess even to explain to myself. Okay, get display name. So what does get display name do? Okay, so this function returns. Okay, see what I did it so that the actual name is get name, but if there is a the name is not empty, like if there's a name to it, then it's going to return. If there's no name, it's going to return the type. But there is a name. It's A, B, and C. But so I want to have both. So let's do something like a string. Get display name, and that would return. Let's do something like expression type, or let's do expression.name. No, you know what? What am I going to do this? I'm going to do something like, because the name could still be empty. So I'll do something like if expression.name is empty, or if it's not empty, then return expression type. No, I want to do the expression.name plus expression.getType. And if it is empty, then just return the type. So I could probably do something like type equals this. Go to name equals expression name. So name type, and otherwise just return the type. And this should probably be something like name plus type. Let's see if this is gonna look a little bit better, and then I need to call this function when I create the label. Okay. Here's my app. It does not show the things I was hoping it would show. Yeah, this doesn't look just what I expected. What's wrong? Here's something else, and this one says the name is empty. Why is the name empty? Oh, because it's not expression.name. Keep forgetting there's actual. It's something like expression dot. Probably something like get name. Yeah, because this is a virtual function, and it needs to resolve to some internal thing and not just get the raw type. I think should work better, right? Yes. Look at this. So this is A, B, and C. And I create a new one, like a new transpose is going to be a D. It's going to be easier for me. Oh, I need to do the same here probably. But the idea is that All of these should be should help the user kind of understand what it is that they're connecting from and to. Yeah, I think this is not bad. Let's fix. Now let's not put this function here. Let's put this function. I can probably just put it as a function in the expression itself. I can probably do something like, just like I have get display name. Let's do something like get type and name or something. Display text. Okay. And then I can just reuse this function both in this place. Expression get type and name text. And then when I'm in my little drop down menu, I can do the same thing here. No, this is not it. This is the name, right? Just like a connection name into the input thing. Wow, this code is so messy. So messy. Yeah, so the display name. Let's get type and name text. Ooh. Oh. Current name. Okay, now when the user is here looking at this app and they want to do some connections. Oh, why is this just showing A and B and not the full thing? Okay, because I did input that name. No, that's not it. That's it. Yeah, so I think those are a little better. Because now the user should be able to do this. Click here or click here. Good. And see some list of connections that make more sense, like what it is they're connected to. I can't really connect this to the function graph. That's funny. Yeah, but this should work. Okay, that's good. That's very good. Okay, I think I've made a bit of progress. Let's save this and say added away to get unique letter identifiers to help identify each new expression. Good. Now let me just clean up a little bit of this UI code, because it's pretty horrible. What does this thing do? So it's like something that goes through all the options, and then there's the default options, right? So I can probably let's clean that up. It's quite a long function. So I can probably extract some of these functions. So this can probably be something like connect, USB input base. Is that true? No, not input. This should be called something like a target. and the connect thing would just do input connect with the target, then trigger the update container. Oh, that's not in base. This should just be an expression target. And so I can just refactor instead of doing this function here. I can just do connect option to make this a one-liner. And I can do the same with this function at the bottom, which would be disconnect. And for this one, I probably don't even need to pass anything. It should be a disconnect. And disconnect, we just do the contents of this little lambda. Okay, this is a little bit better. So I think this makes the get menu function a bit more readable. It would just, for each option in the menu, it would create this menu item with this like connect call, which is gets forwarded here, and the same with the disconnect function. Okay, so that lang UI cleaned up menu building code. Start with that. Hello everyone who are watching here, on my Facebook, YouTube, X, Twitch, and LinkedIn. Let me know if you have any questions. I know this is a weird hour to be streaming, so I'm totally content with being kind of stuck in my progression world. But let me know how you're feeling about this, and if you have any questions. Let me know in the comment section if what I'm doing makes sense. If you don't know what I'm doing, I am creating sort of a language, kind of like a musical composition language. It's like it's almost like a programming language, but hybrid. But sorry, not but hybrid, but visual. My brain is a bit mushy sometimes today. Okay, so I just wanted to clean up a little bit of this the code in this massive file and just let's make this separate files just because wow, so many crap that's written here. So what I did was I created let's just separate it by each one of these tracts. So let's start with UI state. Probably should need to have an include for a file here that has the definitions that I need. Let's see. This thing, probably this thing. Let's call it common or something, because everyone needs to know about this. can include UI state from this file I created. This should just include common. Great. Now next thing, block details box. Block displays, the next one. Okay. Why is this not included? Get some error here. Dee-da-pa-dum. Dee-da-dum-pa-dum. Generic input. Generic input is here. Hello, Karthik. How are you? So as I said before, I'm here doing some live coding session, working on my music composition language. It should be a visual language, but it's kind of built a little bit like a programming language. Thank you for joining. And here you go. So what I just did, I just cleaned up my little UI app code. The UI doesn't do much just yet, but the idea is that for example, I have a piece of music. It's called B, literal music, amazing name. And then you can connect it to a transpose, right? So this transpose will transpose it by three semitones, but I can change it to be 7 to be higher. And then I can have an append block that would say first take the original music and then do the transpose music right after the other. Then I can have another append called E, which could take this first append and then add the original again, right? And create in a longer form. And then I can create, a repeat block, duplicate, which would take the result of the last append and would repeat it a bunch of times. And then I could create like a really longer music with this riff. It can't play the MIDI just yet, but it will be able to do that. So it's just a way to kind of iterate on the idea. It creates to create long pieces of music from a few different blocks. And this is the, I guess, the gist of the idea, even though it's very raw in this current situation. Yeah, I think I did a good job just separating this UI files into different files so that they won't be as massive. So let's call this lang UI refactored UI code. It's not really a refactor, but whatever. It's more like a cleanup. Yeah. Okay, now that I've done this, let's go over what I did have. Oh, this is weird. You know what? I'm going to take a break for a couple of minutes, but feel free to let me know in the comments what's up, and I'll be back shortly. I'm back. I think what I'll do is I think I'll take a break and just stop the stream and then start another stream, perhaps in about, I don't know, maybe half an hour or an hour or so. Stay tuned, and thank you for watching.